area are you guys from? We can start from here.
From Croydon, South Croydon.
Ascot.
Norwich.
North London.
Luton.
East London.
And how old are you guys?
21.
19.
22.
28.
20.
Wow, 28.
Yeah. You do not look 28. That's amazing.
23.
Okay. What fashion trends do you guys follow?
Fashion trends. Is that like in terms of brands or like?
Yes.
Okay, so I like Nike. I probably follow Nike mostly. I'm not really. In terms of like named brands, I'm not really too fussed. In terms of like clothing wise, I'm not really too fussed. Like if they're affordable. So like I get my jeans from like River Island or Topman or like tops from there as well. But yeah, if anything, shoes wise, I like Nikes.
Okay. And anyone?
Just a quick question, is that because it's comfortable or because of the price? What makes you
I don't know,
drive towards that?
I just feel like trainers wise, they're the nicest in general.
So the way they look.
So yeah, so I don't really. I mean, I've worn Adidas before. So for example, I have Puma as well. Puma suedes. I've got Vans. I've got what else? That's about it really. I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of Nikes. Like whenever I come to uni, I'll probably wear these the most. Yeah, but I'm not really a shoe guy. Like I don't really collect, if that makes sense. But if I'm going for a pair of shoes, trainers, I'll get Nikes. I usually look at them first.
And who influences the design you go for? Like people have that crepe hype.
So like in terms of like celebrities and that.
Celebrities, your peers, friends. What makes you decide on a pair of shoes?
I don't know, you know. I just
Instagram maybe.
Nah.
You just see one and you cop it.
Yeah, if I go to a shop, like I don't really do like any research or nothing like that. If I need a pair of shoes, I'll go to the shop, and if I like them, I'll just get them. But yeah, I'm not really fashion driven like that. If it's nice and it's affordable, I'll just get it.
What do you guys think about this?
I think Instagram for me is where I usually, if I see something that I like, I have like where you can save pictures. I have like a little bit where I save like outfits that I like.
Oh, the archive, right?
Yeah, I archive them. But I'm not really, I wouldn't say like I'm a designer person much. I like shopping high street. Because I feel a lot of the time things that like they just tend to copy certain trends and then you can just get it for a better price. But yeah.
Oh, so you said copy trends. That's interesting. Like, what is a authentic, trendy fashion to you? What does stand out and you think, wow, that's trendy?
I feel like certain just designs. So like there's certain places like with my tracksuits, I'll buy it from like MTV because I just like the way. I always feel like they have a really nice style, and then I always feel like then I'll see other brands I feel like people kind of copy what they've done first. I feel like they kind of are the ones that like put things out first and then people will just copy.
That's interesting. Yeah. Anyone else? Is fashion not important to you?
That's it. I'm not like you, mate. I just like, it's always comfort over names and brands and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not something that I like actively would say that it's like part of my day, if that makes sense. Like I don't go out of my way to do anything like that. So
when you do see advertisements in fashion, what makes you? Does any of it stick out to you, or you just like completely dismiss it?
Yeah. The only real like fashion adverts that I can actively remember like engaging with were like you're on Instagram, so like a sponsored post by like a brand you've never heard of, and there's like I feel that's a nice t-shirt or something like that. But yeah.
And you do online shopping, or would you go to Westfield and be like online?
Online, yeah. I'm pretty lazy. So.
Okay.
How many of you prefer online shopping rather than store?
It's hard.
I need to see the
Yeah,
crepes
it's hard.
first. I need to see the brands
Okay.
first. There's been a couple of times where I bought like a jumper online or something.
it's not the one.
It's not. And I can't even send it back because I can't bother to pack it up and send it
Or
back.
it's too small. Or I've never really had something too big, but like definitely like mediums online are not mediums. They're like either small or extra small or whatever. So like if I'm shopping, I usually go. But like sometimes I'm lazy. So
it depends on.
yeah, it just depends. It just depends how much I need it.
Okay, that's
It just
interesting.
depends how much I need it.
Yeah. And how do you think gender is represented in society?
Through clothes, it could be through fashion.
That was a job.
Fair play.
I feel like the lines kind of a bit more blurred now. I feel like women especially trends like women wear kind of boyish clothes a bit more. I don't think
It's like, I want to say, Pretty Little Things. They just came out with a line that's like very, like both genders.
like unisex.
Yeah, unisex. So it's nice for like women to like actually go out, buy men's clothes, and actually like make it look nice
Yeah.
and feel nice, and like you can just I don't know match with like your man or something, or like your best friend.
Man's hoodies and that.
Yeah,
It's more comfortable?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you think that's something different? Unisex clothing, is this something new in the market that we're seeing?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's something new. I just say it's just rebranded differently. That's
Okay,
all.
how is it shown to us, which is 18 to 25-year-olds?
Probably just like the way they advertise it is a lot cooler. Like it seemed cooler than what it was being like 10 years ago.
So it's being accepted more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Obviously, you got clothes like that are specifically tailored to girls, like and males. Obviously, but it's still one of them ones where
Do you think women can wear certain clothes that the other gender can't?
you can wear whatever you want. To be
You
fair.
can wear whatever you want.
Yeah, bro. As long as it's drippy, then it's good.
Can you? What does drippy mean? Can you like?
You don't know drip or dry.
No, for the camera.
As long as it looks good. As long
Okay.
as it looks like, as long as it looks nice. Obviously, if you got that drip, then you have to say something. But
Your drip,
I
like
ain't got no drip.
your drip is catered to you, innit? So
Yeah.
it's like drip is just another word for swag,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
You learning so much. This is great.
And what are considered fashion trends to you
Even
guys?
Yay.
What's
Sorry.
What am I missing here? What's going on?
What do you mean by yeah? Like, burn the boy yeah.
Forget that. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What are considered fashion trends to you guys?
At the moment.
Right now, I would say the new night crepes that's come out. The new Nike utility crepes that's come out recently. I would say no, not like I don't even really know, you know.
I think oversized clothing is a lot
Oversized.
More, yeah.
Lime green. I feel like
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's like-
say.
yeah,
See,
it's
lime
like-
green
what I was gonna
everywhere.
say.
And animal print.
Yeah.
Like cheetah print.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that's in now at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, lime green
Lime
is
Yeah,
green
this-
everywhere.
that's
Literally, that's the slime stuff.
yeah.
I want to say chunky trainers as well.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh my
They're
god,
back.
them platforms.
I don't
The
know
feeder
if I like
crepes.
them though.
Yeah.
see,
The construction worker
The big feeler crepes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, safe.
I'm a fan of that.
And what platforms do you see these types of clothing on? In person, online,
I've seen them
in
in
store.
person.
I've seen it in
Yeah,
person.
I've seen them. I've seen
person?
them.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone rocks
I
them.
feel like in London you just see like everything. People will literally wear anything. Well, it depends where, but like most places people just wear whatever.
So we're quite a diverse place. in
Yeah,
London.
definitely.
I think it's definitely about expression. And everyone's feeling like they're able to do that now, more so than they would have, let's say, like 5-10 years ago.
What has changed? Where's the movement?
Social media, I'd say. I think people aren't afraid to step out of the box, and everything is being accepted now. And that's like down to gender, race, sexuality. I think that all kind of relates to fashion and clothes and expressing yourself.
I just want to pick up on social media. Like, what is social media for you guys? What's important about it? What's bad about it? What does it mean to you?
I can just talk to friends.
Just to network?
Pretty much. I don't really care about anything else.
Okay. You don't stunt on the gram, or you don't
I
like
don't even have
post
that. I don't
anything?
even have Insta.
You don't?
No.
And is that a choice? Why don't you have Instagram?
I just couldn't bother to make one. It's just like,
Don't make one.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm so deep
It's
in. I'm
actually
so
so negative.
like it's one of them ones. I'm so like when everyone was making it, I thought I was gonna make it, and then I didn't end up getting to doing it, and I thought, you know what, now I've got this energy that I've not made it, so let me just keep the same energy.
Oh, so you think it affects your energy if you're gonna make Instagram?
Nah,
Like it
it's
can bring
just-
negativity.
not like that. It's not even like that. It's just one of them ones where it's just I don't have it, so and I've lived
And you're
without
not
it.
gonna make
And you're better off about it.
It's not better off. It's like what's really gonna change if I don't have it? Like nothing will
enough.
change.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I feel like at first I think I got social media to like stay in contact with people, to like keep up to date with things. Like I think it depends how you use it. Sometimes you can when I hear about news or like things like that, it's normally from like Instagram or something like that. Like I follow like news stories, or you can it depends how you use it. Like you can use it for good things. It depends what you follow. But I definitely know like I've been through stages where you can kind of end up feeling really bad after you've like been on certain social media sites. So yeah.
And can you just like go deeper into bad? What do you mean by bad?
I just feel like even I've done it as well. Like I'll take a picture, but it will take. I would spend like an hour taking a picture, and that's what people don't see. You don't see what goes behind it, and you have like we're living in this like influencer time period where like you're seeing. Always, and I feel like you'll at least know someone that has like clout, which has like loads of followers, and you can see they're like making their money by that, and you think they're like living this perfect life, and then you're kind of like, oh, like why aren't my pictures getting the same, or like I don't know. I think everyone's kind of looking at this ideal life, like it looks like you can just make money from just taking good pictures.
And you don't believe that's the case?
I feel like most of the time. You can make a good, like people are making a lot of money from doing that, but I think in the long run it's actually like quite bad. Like I think everyone's just getting so emotionally invested into other people's life, if you know what I mean. Like you're just like, I've had that before. Like I went through this stage where I just like unfollowed all of the Kardashians because I was like, why do I care? I was like, why do? But then when I hear a news story, I find myself reading like, oh, like Khloe Kardashian's like man cheat. Like I don't know, like it annoys me that I'm actually care.
We're all guilty of that, so
Yeah.
don't feel alone. Anything else on social media? You don't care? Mr. No Instagram. I don't care.
I guess I'm just here for the football.
Okay.
Okay, and moving on from fashion, what issues do you guys think affect young people in society? What issues are going on?
Oh, issues.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot like.
What applies to you?
I feel like I don't know. It's hard to say. So what Noor said about the preparations of taking images before you actually post them, I feel like that's a big issue, because we're all fixed on this reality where it just doesn't exist, where we all have to look a certain way for the gram or for Twitter or for Snapchat, or we all act a certain way, and it's just misrepresentation. I feel like some kids, I say kids, some people our age group live a double life where it just it doesn't make sense. Like you're this person but you're someone different online, and I feel like that's a big issue. There's also if you're not on certain sites, you're not hot or you're not considered to be cool. I feel like that's a big issue as well. Like I remember when I was in year 8 or year 7, I didn't have a BB at BlackBerry, and people were just saying, "Oh, you're late." When I got BBM in year 9, I was thinking, "Oh man, BBM's actually lit." And then when I was in year 11, I was the last person to come off my BB to change the iPhone. And it's just like, if you're not on the latest trends now, you're either late or you're lame. And I feel like that hurts a lot of kids, like in terms of, or young people in terms of like what's the word? Like just
Self-confidence.
yeah, just like in everything, like in development, in self-confidence. Like they're just like, if you don't have the latest stuff now, you're just not on it. And I feel like, cause there's so many social media sites to have, or there's so much like stuff to have, and it's being pushed like in terms of advertisement, like it's just getting worse, isn't it?
It's like AirPods.
Yeah.
Like AirPods
If
now.
you don't have AirPods,
Yeah, if you don't have AirPods now, you're getting buzzed.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
it's
just
a bit mad. Like how, at the beginning, how AirPods was first, like when it first was said like they were releasing AirPods, everyone was like, oh, it's expensive for wireless earphones. And now it's got to the point where if you don't have AirPods, like you're not seen like as a serious guy. So I'd say social media in that sort of terms, where the way social media can influence people to buy stuff, can like through peer pressure and all that sort of stuff. Because to be at the end of the day, no one really needs AirPods unless you actually want, like unless it comes from like you actually want to buy them. But social media does pressure people to do stuff like that, to buy things, like to get this sort of accessory or get these sort of trainers. Like even now, how Adidas ZX Fluxes came out, everyone was rocking them, and then only up until like social media started to talk about, oh,
And these are a pair of shoes, right?
yeah, pair of shoes, and like only social media started saying, oh, you, like someone with clout said, you will never catch me wearing ZX Fluxes, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
It's
they're
dead
dead.
crap.
now they're dead, now they're dead crap.
It's the same. It's the same with like. It's not even like with fashion. It's just like everything. So like even haircuts. Like I remember 2014, 2016, high tops were in fashion. Yeah, like I had a high top in it. I regret it, but still they were in fashion. So everybody had one.
Why do you regret it?
I feel like it was just a moment of madness in my life. Where I just like,
But why? I
just
don't understand why.
because I was just following the trend. Do you get?
Do you regret it because you followed a trend, or do you regret it because of what it looked like?
No, my high top was
Was
nice.
on point.
I liked my high top. At the time, I probably liked it more at the time because everybody had it. But I wouldn't say I regret it to the point where I wish I never done it. But like everyone had it, so no one. If you didn't have a high top, you weren't different. I feel like if like now, like if you have a high top now, you're just seen as like what you doing. Like high tops were left in what 2016. Now it's waves.
Do you know, it's so funny that you say that, because I know I'm a little bit older than you lot, but I think with me, when it comes to fashion and trends, there's no such thing. Well, there is kind of like that's old, but if you bring something back and no one else is doing it, then that's seen as a good thing. But for you, that's like, well, why have you got that and why are you doing that? That's old.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, and I don't know if that's down to social media and how you guys see it, and I'm not that much older than you, I know a couple of years, but down to how you see it compared to how we see it.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, you can just wear whatever you want, look however you want, you know, be around whoever you want, and you're not seen as being lame or late, or you're not in fashion. Like with the AirPods, I'm not gonna get them.
I'll
I
lose
think
them.
they're ridiculous.
I'll
I
lose
think
them.
they're ridiculous.
I'll lose them.
And I've seen a lot of memes on social media as well, like if you haven't got them then you're this and you're that, and I just laugh at it and move on from it. And I've got my old headphones with the wire that
That's what I'm
I...
saying. Why all day?
All day.
Or worse,
I dropped my phone too.
That's what I'm saying.
At least you can dangle it with
Yeah.
the wire.
Alright, so besides social media and the pressures of social media, what kind of other issues do you think are important or are going on in society in the moment?
Well, for still our age group.
Yeah, our age group.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure in, like, depends, so if you go to uni there's a lot of pressure there, or there's a lot of pressure to have things figured out sometimes when you don't really know. I feel like for me personally as well, like I've like as soon as I left school, I went to sixth form. As soon as I left sixth form, I went into uni, like, and I just feel like, in looking back at it, I wish I just had maybe a couple years where I properly thought about, you know, what do I want to do, or make like a couple years out. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure to, like, you need to know what you want to do and you need to be at this.
Pressure from who? Or from where?
I just think from everyone. I don't know if it was maybe me personally, I had pressure like from my family really wanted me to go to university, so maybe that was me personally, but I think it's a lot of people might be like, you look at other people around you, so you're like, okay, well my friend's got this really good job, they're making this, so like maybe do I need to be doing that? I think people compare themselves a lot. I think it does link back into social media when, you know, like you get so heavily invested into other people's lives and you try and think that my life should be like yours. Especially with guys, like I think the fact that it's like the biggest killer with men under 40 is suicide, I think is crazy. I feel like there's like a lot of toxic masculinity.
Huh? Whoa.
There is
Oh,
though.
we've touched the subject.
I feel like there is for guys.
Okay.
Like, and with girls as well, but I think girls, I don't know, like girls talk or whatever.
So what do the females think of masculinity at the moment?
You're right. We did a lot of research on this last year for one of our projects, and it's not even that age group, it's down to kids who are like 11 plus, even younger.
Yeah.
Masculinity is a huge issue.
I think it was like
Men do not talk about it.
it was like 11. That stuff was starting. Yeah.
What?
So
I'm alright.
I feel like, I don't know.
But this is the thing. I think I mean, everyone's different, of course, and I'm not a male. I'm only going by what we've researched. But men are scared to talk about feelings, emotions. Again, linking back to social media, you're made to feel like you have to have this ideal lifestyle, when really, in reality, life is difficult, and we all face issues. A lot of people don't like to face them and don't like to admit it. Talking about feelings, everything, appearance, muscles.
you were nodding
clothes.
over here, so do you agree? You were nodding, I saw you nodding.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you agree?
I agree, obviously.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Yeah?
there's a lot. Let's not lie. Like toxic masculinity is a real thing. Let me not even front, because there is like, as you grow up as a male, there are things. There's expectations placed on you that you're never going to be mentally ready for. Like growing up saying,
Be a man, man up.
be a man up, why you showing emotions, that this and that. Like obviously it depends on who you are as well. Innit? For me, if I have to say something, if I have to get off my chest, I'll get off my chest. Because at the end of the day, I have to, because it's just me, innit? That's how my personality is. But it's like, if you look at it from someone else's perspective, where getting off, saying what they really feel is actually pretty hard, because at the end of the day, it's like you're showing your vulnerability or your
How is it hard? Who makes it hard?
just
society.
Society.
Yeah, but you have like, even though like you have fears, like everyone has their own fears. Opening up to someone about your fears, and then imagine you get ridiculed, like you get mocked for it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it gets long. So it's just like, why am I even bothering? Because it's got to the point where it gets to a point where having those types of emotions is better off towards yourself. Because like obviously it's good to share emotions with other people, because people like you want to get stuff off your chest, want to say whatever you want to say. But it's like the repercussions of it. Some of the repercussions of it could backfire upon you. So people would rather not take that risk.
Yeah.
So you're bottling up emotions, and then obviously bottling up emotions as a human anyway, humans in general, bottling up emotions is bad for you. But it's just more common in men to bottle up our emotions and to keep it stepping, because at the end of the day, like you have emotions, but life doesn't end. Like the world still moves on without you, so you just gotta keep on doing what you gotta do. So it's coming, like I say, it's become so ingrained in society where you have to uphold and maintain like that perfect image that you portray yourself online, where your mental health is pretty much put towards
The back.
like at the back of your
Like
head.
a physical.
Yeah. So you're pretty much like you're doing what you need to do to maintain your lifestyle, but at the same time, it could be detrimental to your mental health, but you won't really recognize it as much because you still see yourself as getting money. Like at the end of the day, you're still getting your dough. So
it's maintaining an image.
yeah.
Until it becomes popular on social media to be a male who expresses emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it probably will eventually. Because I think it's
To be fair, there's a lot of men that like do express their emotions.
yeah, but it's not. I mean,
But it's not,
when it starts.
yeah.
I think it's gonna eventually, but it will start trending on social media, and the girls will be like, I like men who express their feelings.
But
and then, of course, men are gonna feel
see
like.
that.
But they've said that now. They've been saying that for a long time.
They
Like,
say that now.
there's a lot of people saying that they like men expressing their emotions, but at the same
But has
time,
it become a real trend?
Yeah.
Is it like a real big thing?
I think
on
you'll
social media, because social media seems.
But the
so
thing
much
is with it,
to be fair, I think it'll become a trend. I think it'll become like a more. I think it'll become a more serious trend. Is like it's something that's not accessible to everyone. That's why.
Oh
Like,
yeah, not everyone can express it.
yeah, it's and it's like expressing your feelings to the wrong person. So
Yeah.
you could say, "Oh, I like you," and then she'd be like, "I don't." So where do we go from here? And then let's be.
Sometimes you can't. You just have to be. I mean, in life in general, we have to get shot down sometimes. Stand
Yeah,
up and
that's what I'm
continue.
saying. But like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Be a man. Like, you have to. Like, obviously, everyone in life gets shot down, but everyone has different mental capabilities to us. Like, everyone in themselves is unique. So everyone has their own different types of thought patterns. Where obviously getting shot down, like the general term, everyone gets shot down. You have to move on with it. It's a general term anyway. But to apply it to everyone.
You feel like it's more on men than it is on women. When you say
I could say it's both because girls get shot down as well and they lose their minds. Like men lose their minds as well.
Yeah, I feel like, but we're trained to deal with it better.
We're trained to deal with it better.
You got the.
But I feel like guys, I don't know, I'm a female so I can only say certain things, but I think guys like care more about what other guys will think. Like I've had a lot of like my male friends will come to me and be like, oh, I don't know what to do about this, like say if their girlfriend's cheated on them, they're like, I still love her but I don't want to look like an idiot in front of people. I don't want do you know what I mean? And I feel like boys are a bit more if one of my female friends is like having trouble or something, I feel like girls will really sit and be like, tell me everything, let's talk about it, like let's speak. But with guys, I feel like a guy will be like, are you alright? Yeah, cool, okay, next conversation. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely think it's that. It's just like, are you okay now? They'll be like, I didn't even like her. Like it wasn't even that deep.
So I think it's just maintaining the image. I think that's the common story that's coming out.
So speaking about expressing yourself, do you guys feel that you have a voice in the society?
No way.
I think
No?
Oh, everyone has their own individual voice, obviously. Like,
Whether it's
like,
heard.
well, whether it's heard or not is a different thing. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta get clout at least. Like not clout, but you gotta have like some
A
sort of
platform.
Do you think that's down to class and race and
Nah.
gender?
Yes.
I don't think so because anyone can actually blow up social media.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
that's not what she's talking about. Whether
I think
it's
Not necessarily on social media
Yeah.
in general.
Oh, just in general.
Do you feel like that's down to class and
I
gender?
think so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
if you look at like MPs and stuff like that, they all come from like a certain type of school, they all come from a certain type of background. So it depends what you mean by voice. Like we all have the freedom of speech to say what we want to say, but in terms of like but there are a lot of things like if you're passionate about an issue, there are a lot of things you can do. You can join an organisation. I think there's a lot of things you can do. That's what sometimes I think people forget that you can do. Like there's a lot of power when people like come together. So like you on your own, you might not be able to do that much, but if you meet like-minded people, which you can do through social media, then you can make a bigger impact.
Okay, I've been hearing a lot about the internet and social media, but I want to ask about like physical copies, physical things. So maybe magazines, newspapers. How are they? Are they important? Are they something in your life that you do or you pick up, or are they just something you just don't even think about?
They've lost its relevancy.
Lost the relevance.
It's lost its relevancy. It's not like people like convenience. Humans in general like convenience things. Like if I have to go to a shop to buy something that I can read on my phone, then
free of charge.
Why would I go all the way to the shop to buy something that I can see on my phone anyway? Like being like the fact that information before was limited, and you had no other choice to get that information. You have to go there. If you've got it already accessible to you, then there's no need for it. That's why newspapers in general are dying out, or they're switching to online, or magazines and newspapers. That's why that's why everything is switching over to digital instead of physical copies, because at the end of the day, it's a waste of resources. You still it costs money to print those types of things anyway, and you're better off just having it on your phone, because bro, why am I gonna go all the way to go buy something?
Yeah. And even social media sites like apps and that, they're linked to like news feeds and stuff. So it's even more easier. So like even on Snapchat, when I'm on Snapchat, I wanna check the football, I can go on Sky Sports, check what's going on football, I can check the BBC, what's on the news and that. I can even check news outlets in America, all on my Snapchat. I don't have to access the internet. I don't have to go on BBC News on the internet. I don't have to do that because it's all on there. You got Twitter, it does the same thing. Instagram has now live TV on it, where you can check even podcasts are on it, where you can just watch. So everything's now just more easier to access. But yeah.
And any thoughts on that? On paper, newspapers, magazines?
I feel like the only time I read a newspaper is when on the tube and the Evening Standard. That's like the only time I'll read. It's because you don't always get. It's because you don't get internet on the tube.
Okay.
Or if I'm doing an essay.
Or you're doing an essay.
Yeah, and it involves me getting
a reliable source.
Yeah, we have to actually read newspapers for essays.
Yeah, so maybe that's a big maybe, because I could just go online as well with that. But yeah.
What word comes to your mind when you hear the phrase antisocial behavior order?
Antisocial
Behavior.
I feel like, I don't know, whenever I think of that, I just think of you can get antisocial, you can get in trouble and get for antisocial behaviour for doing dumb shit when you're a kid. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
What do you think about when you get antisocial behaviour?
Disorder.
Yeah, it's like an ASBO. Have you heard of the term ASBO?
That's what I meant.
You heard the term ASBO?
Yeah, you get from that noise
Yeah.
when you're playing loud music.
Yeah. That's what.
Is that ASBO? That's what ASBO.
When you're, I feel like it's when you're young and you get in for playing loud music or doing something disruptive in public. Okay.
So what comes to your mind when you hear the phrase asshole?
So what do I
The
think?
word phrase.
I don't know, I feel like in my head I'm just imagining a little kid. Not a little kid, but a bunch of teenagers or something. Just on road messing around or something.
Because that's what the media show you, and that's what you associate with.
Yeah.
Well, because if you actually
But
think
also
about it,
because I feel like we've been that age. I've been that age when you're 13, 14 and you're just doing dumb shit with your friends on the road. Or yeah.
No, yeah,
I can't lie, even at my big age now, I was told about ASBO, all the households that I have.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have one, but when I hear ASBO now, it's kind of like an outdated term.
Yeah.
That's all the questions that we have for you guys.
cool.
Thank you.